Welcome to Beyond Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Petralis, and we are super excited for today's guest. I've been wanting to get this guy on for a couple weeks. We've taken a couple week break from filming some episodes because we've been out in the field filming a lot of different sports this fall. And as soon as we kind of jump back on here, this is a kid that I wanted to get on here because I was extremely impressed when I covered Malden Catholic a couple weeks back. Just to throw some numbers at you right now, junior quarterback here at Malden Catholic, 61 of 88, 693 yards passing, six TDs, one INT. Great ratio there. And running the ball too on 34 carries, just under 200 yards, 199. So we'll say 200.
Yeah.
Seven TDs rushing. So that's 13 all purpose touchdowns, one interception. Very impressive on the field. Without further ado, starting quarterback at Malden Catholic High School, Don Mercier. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, I meant what I said. I was really impressed when we covered you the other day. I do this, I do this with another guy, and I had texted him because we had some photo shoots and media days that he was kind of taking care of before he came to MC. And I texted him, I was like, MC's offense is pretty legit. Quarterback is like very calm. It's gonna be a fun game to film. And then it just kept happening. It kept
Yep.
happening. We'll rewind a little bit before we kind of talk about that game specifically. For you, it's interesting. You transferred from St. John's Prep to Malden Catholic. I know MC is investing a lot of money in their athletics. Their facilities are unbelievable across the board. Obviously, the new field house that they built and going in there. I mean, God, what an advantage over everyone, really.
Yeah.
Talk about that transfer a little bit. What made you kind of make the jump, and what was the reasoning Malden Catholic was kind of the big choice for you?
So I spent my first 2 years at the prep. Freshman year went well. Sophomore year, it didn't really go up to my expectations. So I really just had to find a way out. And I have friends that I grew up playing with at Malden Catholic and coaches. So we reached out to them and asked if they could use me. They said yeah. So we went over there. And then from there, it's been only success.
Now, have you played quarterback like you played Pop One all the way through your whole
Yeah.
life? So you've been a quarterback pretty much for the whole time being. Where are you from?
I'm from Peabody.
Okay, Peabody. So you play Peabody Pop Warner type
Yes.
deal. I mean, prep's pretty close there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you came over the Malden Catholic, and I know there was a change. I know there's a new offensive coordinator, new
Mhm.
defensive coordinator. So for you, talk about like obviously new school, you knew some people, but coming in and learning a different system for you, comparably, how different were the two systems, comfortability for you from jumping from the prep to MC?
With the offense wise, it was more like of under center type. They would still go shotgun, but like, and then when I went to MC, it was all shotgun and like the clap, the hand signals, the prep. You don't do that. So like, I really had to get used to all of it and used to the guys that I spent almost 2 years with at the prep, and then had to get to know everyone at Modern Catholic. So I was like,
Yeah. Talk about the clap. I honestly, I have that in my notes here. I mean, for you, so that's not like you. That's not your style. That's systematic. I mean,
yeah,
talk about the clapping cadence versus kind of calling out the cadence yourself a
I
little bit.
think I like the clap more. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but like the clap, I just feel more comfortable with. But it's really weird with the clap because teams do clap against us, like against Westwood our last week. They kept clapping and it was messing us up. So it was like it is kind of a jump, but I've gotten used to it.
And how's that timing with like motions? You have to kind of get used to like, timing
Yeah,
the
it's
motion and
like
stuff.
because with the motion, I can't mess up the clap either. So it's weird. I need it to be loud, and if I mess up, then it's all on me. But the motioning, it is pretty easy, easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So how much do you work on? You must work on that a lot in practice. I mean, that's got to be the first like 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of
yeah,
practice is
we when we go team, we usually get all the motions out the way first to get it down and like locked in, so we're good for the week. And we don't really have much mess ups with it. Like we're pretty fluent with it, and it's going pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, from what I saw, what I was so impressed with was exactly that. Because I've seen some other teams use the clap cadence, and
Yeah,
for some QBs, it's more of their style. Like you're saying here, it's more systematic. So I've kind of seen like the ups and downs of it, and obviously defense clapping. I mean, that's not necessarily illegal for them to
yeah.
kind of do that, right? So I mean, it can throw you off for sure.
Mhm.
Does that change like going on two or going on first sound, or are you kind of pretty much the same?
So the two, it's just like it's not really a difference. We don't really go on two a lot. It's usually just on the clap, like that's all. Like I don't say ready or anything. But if we do go on with two, I just clap once, look to coach, figure out what we're doing, and then clap again.
Yeah, I mean, what's so interesting about you is, after the game, I was talking to the
Mm.
guy that we do with. We've covered a lot of quarterbacks, and I compare you to two quarterbacks specifically that we've covered over the years. One is Sid Tisley, who graduated from Shawsheen Tech last year, undefeated Super Bowl champions. He's actually a wrestler at Harvard now, but a quarterback that kind of was a dual threat. You guys are very similar in a lot of ways. And Justin Marino. So I look at you from like Sid, kind of from the throwing perspective, reading a defense,
Yeah.
seeming very calm and knowing really where to go with the football consistently and didn't make too many mistakes. And then the ability to run the ball like Justin did. Justin was definitely a quarterback that was, run first, but could throw the ball absolutely if needed to be. When you look at your game, do you consider yourself more of like a pocket guy? Do you consider yourself more of a scrambler? Or, is that kind of who you've always just been as a quarterback?
That's really who I've always been. Like, I wasn't really going into this as a quarterback being like, oh, I'm just going to sit in the pocket and sling it. Like, I would do that, obviously. I love doing that. But if I have to get out the pocket, I'll get out the pocket and make a play.
I mean, that's great. And that's what I kind of noticed about you. And I mean, your numbers don't lie here. Almost 700 yards passing, six
Mhm.
TDs, one INT. I mean, my synopsis of seeing you for a game was you just seemed very calm at
Yeah.
quarterback. Like you know where to go with the ball. You know your check downs really well. I mean, talk about the comfort level in this offense for you, maybe comparably to any other offense you've been in your career.
Yeah. So it really comes down with coaching and my teammates. And they put a lot of trust in me to build all the trust and like respect with the whole team. And I think Coach Brett did a really good job putting me in there and letting me feel comfortable instead of just like throwing everything at me and expecting it to like not work out. So he put his trust in me and I love him for that.
Let's talk about Coach Brett because I loved him on the side. I thought he was great. He's full of energy. When the defense on the field, he's on the other side. He's
Yeah.
got his call sheet like hooked to his belt. He's got the wristband on. He's got a ton of energy. I mean, that must be fun. When I was a coordinator, kids used to always say they love the energy and love playing for me. I mean, I see that with him. I
Mhm.
could see why kids offensively are giddy to get on the field, and as a quarterback, an OC that really knows their stuff, it translates over to how well the quarterback plays.
Yeah.
Talk about coach a little bit more.
It's just he always has energy, no matter what, no matter the time of day, he just loves it. He really game time, he's in his own world though. He's like on the side, but as soon as someone makes a big play, he'll literally run down from like the end zone all the way to the other end zone to get to you. Like he just loves us so much.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell, and I think that's, I mean, kids feed off of that. I think
Yeah.
that's a really important energy. And he looks like, I mean, this is a compliment. It's a huge compliment because I'm a huge wrestling fan. He looks like MJF kind of, huge wrestling fan. And I saw him and I kept looking at him. God, he looks like MJF. And MJF's famous line is, "I'm better than you, and you know it," right? And I could
Yep.
see him saying that
That
to
sounds
like
exactly
opposing
like him.
defenses, right?
Yep. Sounds exactly like him.
But I mean that with so much love. I mean, I thought he was great. And, your coach staff seems to be really balanced well. Your head coach is actually an Everett cop. My brother's an Everett cop.
Yeah.
So my brother talks about him all the time. And, he gave a great pregame speech, I thought. Halftime, he seems like old school, hones in, focused team, stay on top of it, stay on the gas
Yeah.
pedal. And then you got two coordinators who just seem to be savants in their areas of coverage and what they do. I mean, talk about your coaching staff a little bit coming over to MC this year.
So our coaching staff is actually really great. When I first got here, I was a little concerned about it since everyone kind of like left. So I was like, all right, it's my first year here. Hopefully it goes well. And then after the first practice, everyone was like, we like clicked instantly. The defensive coordinator clicked with the defense. Coach Brett clicked with us. And then Coach Gaff just, I think he really helped us all glue it together.
Yeah, I like him. I mean, I've covered MC. I think his first year of coaching, and it was against BC High, and it was like kind of a low scoring game. And then the last like 2 minutes, it was like a shootout, and
Yeah.
it ended up being from like a 14-0 game to like a 28-27 type. I mean, it was a really
Yeah.
unbelievable kind of ending to the game. But I liked what he was building there, and I saw what he was building, and there's like that toughness. And I think that old school toughness sometimes misses from teams a little bit. And I think
Mhm.
when you kind of have that coaching mentality, that is an element of success is being tough and being mentally tough and physically tough.
Yeah.
And he kind of seems to bring that to the table. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. Every
Yeah.
time something bad happens, he says, just forget about it, on to the next play, no matter what. And like, even if a team could be better than us, he always says we're better than them in every aspect. So he's just
Yeah.
like, he's a great coach.
I mean, you have weapons, right? I mean, one of your weapons is
Yeah,
6'5", and we covered him in hoop last year. You know, we covered MC's run in hoop last year, almost to a four-peat all the way to the end. A great team, great coaching staff, great players. But some of those kids I see play football, and
yeah.
it doesn't surprise me to see the success carry over from the court onto the field. I'll give you a little bit of a chance to kind of talk about some of your weapons offensively a little bit.
So we have, I would say, everyone on the field is a weapon for us, like everyone. Jerry, I would say, is our main one. It's not hard to miss him. He's just throw it up there.
Yeah.
Then we have Anthony Wadlin. He's just get him the ball in open field and he's gone. Like no
Now,
matter.
is that what number is he?
He's number two.
Yes, dude. Okay, let's just
Yeah.
freeze on him for a second. I mean, obviously, you're 6'5" receiver. He's a game
Mhm.
changer down the field. Teams have to account for him. Not many one-on-one matchups you're going to see, so safeties are obviously going to kind of be lingering over the
Yeah.
top. But you mentioned that second guy, man. In the open field, I saw that so many times. I'm like, God, this kid is impossible to the first tackle to make
Yeah.
a play on him. That is such a luxury to have and to be able to
Mhm.
move him around and motion him, I'm sure you get coverage on one side of the field, you motion like teams just got to make a choice a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, I noticed that open field. He's great.
And then we have number four, Julian.
Yep.
He's just he's always open. I don't know why. He's just always open. He's a great playmaker. If he's covered, he'll find the open field and I'll just find him. It's like we have a connection. And then Trayvon, our running back, he's really good. Like once you literally get him the ball, if he finds a hole, he will score, like no matter what. And that's what I love. Like we have weapons everywhere. Like no matter what, who I give the ball to, they can score.
So for you, it's just really knowing kind of what you see defensively. So let's walk through your mentality a little bit. And I don't want to give too much away because
Mhm.
obviously I want team. But you walk up to the line of scrimmage, you're looking around. I mean, what goes through your head a little bit as far as what you're looking for? You know the play that's coming. Are you checking defenses? Are you kind of seeing coverage? Do pre-snap where you probably want to go with the
Mhm.
football? Or walk us through that a little bit.
So I look for the safeties first, figure out where they're at. If it's one high and no one's doubling Jeremiah and he has a go ball, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
But if they're shading Jerry and then we have like Anthony Wadlin or Julian, I'll just look at them because you can't stop all of them. Like you have to pick your poison.
Yeah, I mean that's what it seemed like. I mean, I know your first touchdown that you guys threw, I think it was Somerset you were playing when we were there. Um, I knew you were going fade ball. The only regret that
Yeah.
I had literally was I should have just ran over there with the camera and been closer to it. But I like looked around and surveyed. I'm like, he's got if they're running fade here, like they're gonna go.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw it, just how you looked right away, you did a good job of kind of keeping your eyes to the middle of the field, maybe to keep
Mhm.
the safety, just not from completely cheating over. But you threw a great ball, and obviously he made a great catch on that. But I agree with you. Your weapons across the board are great. I mean, how much film studying are you doing? Obviously, you're coached really well and you kind of
Mhm.
go out there, but for you, preparation wise, outside of, practice, how much film are you watching and kind of maybe walk me through that process a little bit
I
for you?
would say I watch film every day
Yeah.
because I need to be on top of everything, especially since I'm the quarterback. I have to know how everyone lines up, like especially against CM. They're a great team, so that's even more film. And especially going into the whole Catholic Conference week, I definitely need to watch film way more. And it's really a big part of why we win because I realize what they play, where the safeties are at, where the linebackers are at, and I just really know where they're going to be at all times.
Now, just as a QB, how many checks do you make? Like, you know all your routes, obviously guys are running. I mean, can you check across the board? Are you that kind of comfortable with the offense or?
Coach has said I could check it, but right now everything looks so perfect and good that I really don't need to.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we don't have to get to a point where I do have to check it, but there will be a time that we have to, and I will make the check.
That's great. I mean, so that all comes with preparation,
Yeah.
obviously, for you and knowing what you see and what you're running and might what work or what could be open in certain coverages. That's awesome. For you, like obviously I mentioned your stats and kind of both well-rounded as a kind of like an all-purpose QB. Where do you find your biggest strength? Like this year, where do you say you've grown the most at quarterback first four games of the season?
I would say throwing the ball wise. I've really been like I've always been a really great runner, but I've always could improve on throwing the ball. And ever since I got here, I definitely have. I've been throwing the ball over the middle more. I've been throwing the ball all over the field. So I would say I improved on my passing game a lot this year.
That's great. That's great. I mean, you could see it in both. Honestly, to hear you say that could have been a weakness because, man, I felt like you just made there wasn't you didn't really make a bad decision with the
Mhm.
football. You didn't really force a ball into coverage. I felt, maybe there's a player or two. I'm sure your coach will beg to
Yeah,
differ and find something, right? But that's why I just my quick, in covering it and filming it, I just felt like, man, you didn't really you were pretty decisive with your decision making, and you really didn't force balls kind of where they didn't need to
yeah.
be for you. Um, the MC student section, I mean, I'll tell you this, and you can compare it to the prep maybe. We cover a lot of teams, and maybe Shawshank Tech has
Mhm.
an outstanding fan base, but Malden Catholic is they're neck and neck. I mean, the between covering the Malden Catholic in basketball and then seeing it in football. For you, that game, I know that was a pediatric blackout cancer for
Mhm.
cancer, childhood cancer. But afterwards, to see the kids storm the field, coach was talking, everybody was singing the fight song at the end of it. I mean, for a player, for you like that, you made a decision to transfer, and you see this, and it all plays out. I mean, the student section is constantly rocking. Do you feel? I know you're on the field, but you kind of feel that, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially since week one we lost. It was a close game, but to go back home and win on a blackout night and a team that they lost to last year just feels great. Like it feels good to let the crowd and the fans feel that we're actually good and they have hope in us to win and go far. But yeah, the crowd definitely feeds off with all of us.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I love it. When we covered basketball, they have like the student sections labeled, and they have
Mhm.
like almost like a metal bars, like
Yeah.
banner thing. But I mean, God, a couple times I'm like, that thing's gonna snap. There's no way that thing's not breaking. But a couple times I see like the AD run over, a couple people run on, they're like
Yeah.
holding it because, dude, that thing could go down quick.
They bring the energy every
They
single
do.
week.
I mean, there's never every basketball game we cover, there was never a dull moment of like, even when they were up by 30, the crowd was like still into it pretty heavy. I mean, that says a lot, because kids are coming from everywhere too. It's not
Yeah.
like you grew up together, K to 12. You're like, so kids are coming together and they're representing the student body and obviously supporting athletics. I mean, for any athlete, that's great when you got kids just kind of going
Yeah.
crazy for you constantly. I mentioned the facility. I was blown away. I mean, I've never seen that in a high school facility, and maybe I just haven't ventured out as much as I could, but not in this area, anyways, that I've seen something like that. And you walk into the field house just to set up for the audience here. You got like a turf field. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it's like 30, 40 yards. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something like that. But the shed that opens up to the weight room and just the weight room is stacked. That stuff's pretty cool. I mean, talk about that as far as being a high school kid and having that ability to work out in the turf or work out in a weight room and being able to kind of have that dual opportunity to constantly work.
Yeah, so that big facility really benefits us because when it rains, like we can go in there, still have a great practice. But like when I first got there and they built it, I was like, wow, like this is gonna be crazy. And as soon as it went out, we were all in there and I was just like shocked. It's like it's 50 yards indoor. We have a beautiful weight room. There's classrooms in there. It's literally like perfect.
Oh, there's classrooms in there too.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
it's a middle school. So they added a middle school with that and then like the
Oh,
field,
wow.
the weight
Okay.
room.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was amazing. I know a teacher just got hired over there, and I know he's kind of more into the athletic training, and Matt Ibrahim. I don't know if you've met him at all or he's
Is he
there.
the strength and conditioning coach?
Yeah, he's like kind of
Yeah,
like
I've
stout
met him.
guy,
Yeah,
shaved head. Yeah, he's the
he's
man.
really cool.
Yeah, he's like into what he does. He's great at what he does. And when he told me that, he was applying, I go, God, what a steal they get him too.
Yeah,
Like just a facility and someone like him who's, worked with athletes at the highest level. It's a great opportunity to bring kids in it. What a recruiting trip. Obviously, guys like you wanted to transfer in there. But when we were there that day, I saw so many kids with like their Pop Warner or whatever it's called, youth football
yeah,
jerseys on there. And then for you guys to put on a show and be explosive and for them to see the facility, I mean, that is just a huge recruiting chip for any
yeah.
kid who's interested in playing at that next level for sure.
I think it's going to bring in a lot of people,
Yeah.
especially since we're doing good. The facilities here, like it's going to bring in a lot of people, and especially with the coaching staff and how good they are and how good they can make a team, people would definitely come in here.
Yeah. And you're gonna have quarterbacks. I mean, quarterbacks see you a dual threat guy. They see the stats, they see the numbers, they see the points for every week. I mean, you're a very big part of that and kids wanting to come here and seeing, offense sells, right? I mean, offense at the end
Yeah,
of the day is what everybody pays attention in fantasy football and everything else. So you bring that to the table for the program as well, being able to see a quarterback come here and be successful. Kids are gonna see that and
yeah,
want to be the next Don, right? I think that's cool. We talked about film study here a little bit, and I talked about your comfort level playing in the game of football. I mean, for you, talk about going into Catholic play now. I mean, obviously, you're going to see some of these teams that you've been familiar with over the years being at the
yeah.
prep, but in my opinion, you're playing in the best conference in football in the state. I mean,
Mm.
some of those teams are ranked in the top 10 consistently every single year. I argue some of these teams are the best teams in New England, not just Massachusetts that you're going against, and some Division 1 athletes that are consistently coming out of this. I mean, for you now, you mentioned it like CM, that second half of the season, playing
Yeah.
the best. Talk about this week because, Catholic Memorial's Catholic Memorial, but, you guys are scoring points. You're maybe the best team MC's had in a little while. And, when teams can score and have a quarterback like you, it changes the game for sure. I mean, talk about CM week, how big this is for you guys.
So CM week is very important, obviously. We're 3-1. We would love to win this game. That would be a big part in our playoff and making a name for ourselves. But it's really just all seriousness with this. Like they're a great team. We obviously know it's going to be a tough team to beat, but we think we can beat them. If we keep playing to the way we've been playing for the past 4 weeks, I think we could beat any team we play against. Our weapons are just our team's just great. So
Yeah, I know a coach is Division 8, Neshoba Tech, and I know Neshoba Tech came in and played, CM, and I looked at the halftime, I saw 28-7. I go, and I know that coach really well at Neshoba, and I know his boys play tough and they're a run the ball type style offense. So, I look at that matchup and I say, man, MC's got some weapons across the board. You can run the football too. You got guys who can make guys miss in open space. Yeah, it's a really interesting matchup. I mean, I didn't know when you guys were playing them.
mm,
But I thought, man, MC has the opportunity to really move the football on these guys and could with what they have. Um, for you, and I'll flip it, obviously,
mm.
CM is CM. But for you, you also get to kind of go against the prep down the line here where you're transferred from there to MC. I mean, is that a game you kind of have circled on the schedule a little
Yeah,
bit?
definitely. Ever since I transferred, I've been waiting to play them. That's probably been the most biggest game of the year for me, at least. And it probably won't be for the team because their biggest game of the year was probably Somerset Berkeley.
Mhm.
But I suspect them to be as just hype as I was for them when they played that team when we played the prep.
I mean, and for you, I mean, obviously and I said it, I think it's the best high school football conference in the state. I mean, talk about this now, because every week you are running the gauntlet. You are going to be facing, top defenses across the
Yep.
board, kids that are getting recruited at all different levels. I mean, for you, you seem like you kind of strive. You always have a smile on your face. You don't seem to ever really get too down on yourself, or you're kind of a on to the next play type mentality guy. I mean, for you, talk about the opportunity to take on some of the best teams in the state.
I think it's a great opportunity, like if we win, we'll get so much recognition, especially how good the teams we are playing. We go from CM, BC High, the Prep, and Severian, and that's just the competition these next 4 weeks is going to be crazy. And if we can at least get, I hope we get all of them, but if we can at least get two, that'll be a big thing for Malden Catholic football.
Yeah, absolutely. For you, talk a little bit about success for you. And what I mean by that is obviously we get through the regular season here, you play in these teams and so on. For you, being able to come into a school, lead an offense that's pretty potent right now, being able to make some noise in the Catholic Central Conference. For you, playoffs. I mean, you kind of probably tasted it a little bit at the prep, but you here at Malden Catholic, what would it mean to you to kind of lead these guys to the playoffs as a quarterback first year in basically as the dual threat quarterback here at MC.
It would mean so much to bring all these guys to the championship to Gillette. Like the seniors, they've had a rough 4 years. Last year it went well, but first round they ended up losing. So I think me coming in here being a transfer would mean a lot to the coaching staff, the seniors, and everyone that was there if we bring them there. And that's probably the main goal I have for this year.
Let's talk about you a little bit outside the game of football. Do you play any other sports? Are you in any other sports?
I did track and basketball, but
Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna keep going with basketball, and I'm gonna stick with track instead. But yeah,
Keep yourself. What do you do for track? What are your events?
my freshman year, I did it. I think it was 400. I was actually pretty good,
Yeah.
and that's really all I did. I wanted to do like more of like a 100 meter, but they kept me there, so I just did it, and I ended up doing pretty good. So I didn't change it.
Yeah, 400's tough, because
Yeah.
400 is really just like an all-out sprint. I mean, you can't like pace yourself, or maybe you can pick it up in the last 100, but I felt when I used to like get stuck running that, I was like, I just
Mhm.
gotta sprint the entire way. And you're
Yeah.
usually gassed by the time you get to the finish line. What's your time? What do you run?
It was I forget what it was. It might have been like it was a 53 or a 52
That's pretty
my
good. That's
freshman
pretty
year.
good.
Yeah.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
Um,
Wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. And that's what's funny, sometimes you play other sports to maybe keep in shape for other sports or
Mhm.
to just kind of, be a part of a team and, build those leadership qualities. And then you find out you're actually pretty good at some of these
Yeah.
events. So you don't do any like long jump, triple jump, none of that stuff?
I was thinking that, but I really did track to keep up my like stamina for football and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just went with the 400 and I was like, all right, might as well. Like it's for football. But it was actually pretty fun.
Yeah. Is college football like a big step for you? Is that something you
Yeah.
want to do outside of here? Yeah, yeah. Okay. What type of student are you? Favorite classes and so on. What's the student like? What's not the football player, but who you are a little
My
bit?
favorite class I would probably say is history, but I'm not really the outgoing student. I really just sit there, do my work, get through the day. But yeah, I would say I'm a pretty good student.
That surprises me. I could see you being like raising your hand a lot and like participating in
Mhm.
class and kind of being like a class personality in a positive way,
Yeah.
in a positive way. But you're pretty quiet and just kind of do your work and that's it.
Yeah, basically, just really
Yeah.
sit there. I'll ask the teacher here and there if it really does confuse me, but I usually figure it out and get my work done.
Music wise, I always ask this question because everyone gives a different answer. I never hear the same song, same artist, same whatever. But is there a type of song or a certain song that you listen to or type of genre of music that you listen to before a big game that gets you a little
Uh,
juiced up?
it usually is just like rap. Like before games, it's usually anything,
Yeah.
but like in general, it will be like Drake and yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. When I used to coach in like, 2011, 20, I mean, when Drake first started coming out, maybe a little
Mhm.
earlier than that, I felt like every year I coached, Drake was playing in the locker room. And it
Yes.
was almost like every fall he came out with a new song, a new
Mhm.
banger that everyone loved. So it was like I started listening to Drake more just because you would constantly hear it. So I love when I hear the answer of Drake because, I think of our best teams, Super Bowl winning teams, teams that
Mhm.
made deep playoff runs or a game before a Super Bowl. Drake was always an artist that was kind of bumping. Clean version, of course. Our
Yes.
coaches, we were all over that. But yeah, it's funny to kind of hear that because you never get the same answer twice. And you guys had pretty good music, I thought, during warm-ups, and it was definitely like a variety of music. So I was curious
Yeah.
kind of what your go-to and individual is.
That is like the the music they played was perfect. Like I don't really I didn't really expect them to play all that, if I'm being honest, because like
Yeah.
they usually don't do that at like Catholic schools, I feel like. But once I heard it, I was like, okay, like I can get used to this.
Yeah, music's huge. It's funny. Some schools, again, I mentioned Shawshank Tech, who we cover a few times. I mean, they have like a DJ who literally comes in and is like playing music. And you guys had a DJ on the track, so I was
Yeah.
like at that like during the game. And man, to me that is such a seller. My first year as a head coach, I hired a DJ in the
Mhm.
stands and like spinning all the time during timeouts. And it's about building, I think, when you're building a program, it's not always about what's on the field, though the field, the product's always the most important thing,
Yeah.
but also how you attract people to come to a game. Somebody who wouldn't typically come to a football game that might come because their friends are coming or everybody in school's talking about it. And then you get there and there's just the stands are packed, the student section's rocking, the cheerleaders seem to be constantly cheering, which isn't always true at a lot
Mhm.
of games that we go
Yeah.
to. But then there was a DJ on the tracks. I mean, it was cool. I mean, I haven't been to too many high school games like that. And for players, I mean, you guys aren't totally paying attention to that, but you
Mhm.
got to see it, you got to hear it. It's got
Yeah,
to
the
be cool.
atmosphere there is amazing. Like you can like you said, we don't really know what's going on, but you can feel it and kind of feed off of it by how the crowd reacts, the student section. But us winning games, I think the student section really plays a big part in that.
That's huge. That's huge. Um, for you now, when you kind of look ahead at the season for you, what is something that you felt like your team's gotten better? I mean, obviously your first four games, your first game, and then you've lost your first game, right? And then you won three in
Yeah.
a row after that. So where do you feel like the team has kind of maybe clicked and changed on both sides of the ball a little bit to kind of create this three-game winning streak for
I
you?
feel like we kind of like connected more, like going into the first week, we weren't really that close. But as we went on and went on to win 3 games in a row, I think everyone trusts each other and know everyone can get the job done and you don't have to like depend on yourself to do everything.
I mean, you guys are scoring like 20, 30 points a game. I was trying to do the math against points against. You're right
Hmm.
around like the two touchdown mark, but I don't know if like, teams score late touchdowns. I know on paper it looks one way, but
Yeah.
in reality it kind of versus another way. But it seems like, yeah, both sides of the ball just seem to be clicking. Defensively, the game that I saw, the physicality to me was kind of the big standout. I feel like your boys up front, defensive line, and even on the offensive line for that
Yeah.
matter, because a lot of the same guys. Very physical, more physical than I thought pregame
Mhm.
that I was going to see in game. But it seems like the big boys up front on both sides of the ball, when the game time turns on, the game turns on for them too.
Yeah, and I think that game just made them even more angry since they lost to them last game. I didn't get touched that whole game. I don't think I
No.
got tackled one time. So I went out there with nothing. So I was good. And especially on the D line, they ran a wing T defense. I mean offense. So you have to be more physical. And I think we won that game because the guys up front did what they did.
Well, that's it. It's like discipline and like watching pulling guards and how the tight ends block and defensive backs. It's really watching your keys of guys
Yeah.
releasing versus stepping down. So yeah, it's all about discipline with stuff like that because, like you said, if you're not paying attention to those keys, you're just watching the backfield. That's where a wing team
Mhm.
offense kind of has their most success. I think with anything. Um, for you, obviously, we mentioned before that playing collegiately for you is a big goal. Um, you put a like you told me what you we talked about your stats a little bit. Do you
Yeah.
kind of keep a lot of that stuff? Do you have like do your parents kind of stay on top of that stuff for you as far
So
as that?
my coach usually does for me. He said he'll
Okay.
keep my stats all year. And I just have so much goals for this year to make that he keeps for me and lets me know like I could get it or if I couldn't.
Now you mentioned the strongest part of your game this year was just more kind of your downfield passing.
Mhm.
Is that also the biggest surprise of your game this year? Or is there another element of your game that's kind of surprised with maybe how much success you've had doing?
I would say on the run, throwing the ball. I was expecting to like for it to be harder for me since I'm going on to varsity. This is like my first time actually playing like varsity snaps. So I thought like it would just be like everything will be quicker and I'll be like thinking too much, but everything's slowed down for me this year. Like I'm processing everything quicker. Everything's just like I could feel the flow of the game getting way easier.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that. Like, God, that's like that would be my two-sentence analysis of you is that
Mhm.
you looked comfortable and that the game was really slow for you. And I
Yeah.
think when I interviewed you, we kind of talked about that a little bit too. I mean, that interview got like over 20,000 views. I mean, I think it
Yeah.
was almost over 300 likes or whatever. I mean, that was kind of cool to see. I mean, for you, was that kind of like, wow, a lot of people paying attention to my game a little bit, or did
Yeah.
you really not pay much attention to
That
it?
felt really good.
Yeah.
Especially when you came up to me asking for an interview. I was really happy for it. And especially like knowing how much work I put into this and like I want people to see and like know my name. That interview and how much views it got and how much likes it got, it really meant a lot to me.
Yeah, I mean, you stood out. Obviously, offensively, I could have had all you guys over there. I could have had all 11
Yeah.
guys from offense and been like, hey. But like I said, you mentioned some things, the processing speed. I noticed your ability to kind of check to receivers, maybe looking downfield and looking at your second check or looking at your third check down. You don't see a lot of high school quarterbacks do that. And you made a lot of good decisions with the football. And you said it. You didn't really get put on your back. I never felt like you really had pressure on you to
Yeah.
kind of make a throw that you didn't have to or didn't have the ability to kind of think about that. So, when all those things are kind of clicking, yeah, for you who seems pretty intelligent, who watches film, who wants to get better, I mean, that's like an easy day for you. You get to sit in
Yeah,
the
it was a
pocket and
very easy day, especially
yeah.
when everyone clicked that game. It was perfect game. So especially when that happens and you give us the chance to go score every single drive, we're gonna do that.
That's great. I mean, I was really happy to get you on here today. I think that, you're an outstanding player, and the fact that you're only a junior and you got so many more games to go this year, and then to see next year, a whole nother year, a year of development and getting better too. You got a really bright future ahead of you, the next 2 years of your career. And we will be following you, dude. I mean it. Like any
Thank you.
clips that you have, I've said this to you before, but and I mean it, like send them to us. We showcase athletes all the time, we highlight, and our audience, we get a lot of listens here, and I'm telling you guys, if you're a high school football fan, especially this weekend, you want to check out a game, you want to see Don match up against, in my opinion, one of the better teams, if not one of the best teams in Massachusetts, and maybe in all of New England. Watch this guy's skill set. They're going to struggle with against him. And I mean that. I'm not just saying that because you're here. So it
Thank
should
you.
be it should be fun to keep an eye on, watch, and pay attention to. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the squad. I'm a huge fan of MC. Your AD, Bill Raycraft. When I started this podcast, it's a true story. I had on the girls basketball coach, and it was probably like my fifth or sixth episode. And this was like 2020 when COVID was like at its peak, and I started this, in that September. And
Yeah.
we really weren't going out to games. We were more just having coaches on. And I reached out to that coach because he, I think, won Coach of the year before, and we had him on. And he's like, I have to ask my AD. And the AD's response to him was, yeah, absolutely. I've been listening to him since episode one. It's great. And I remember that. Like, I remember when people were kind of like rooting for you. I remember the people that were early on with this because a lot of people laughed and didn't really think there was a market for it. And when I coached, I was like, I'm telling you, this is how we recruited kids. Like, so
Yeah.
I know there's something for it. And Bill Raycraft was one of our biggest fans, earliest fans, and so I'm very loyal to MC, and I root for you guys. So I was
Thank you.
excited to get you on here, and excited to kind of show the world who you are a little bit. So I really appreciate your time today, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck this week, but obviously the rest of the season.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, check it out. We'll be dropping this episode on Tuesday. So be ready for that. Check out our social media, Instagram @_Beyond Podcast. Again, check out our latest. This Saturday coming up, we are getting in the DeLorean and going back in the time. We're taping our actual 200th episode. So we've jumped ahead a little bit. We've gone beyond 200. But we do have our live audience come in. We're going to be at AOA Studios in Beverly Saturday night, 7 o'clock. We have a good audience popping in to kind of ask some questions too. So it should be a really good time. And yeah, we'll make sure we're posting that. But Dom, best of luck this weekend coming
Thank
up. A
you.
great week of preparation. And I'm looking forward to see how the Lancers do. So without further ado, guys, I'm your host, Anthony Petrellis. Till next time.